Salam alaikum, alaikum salam, que Sami los Hakutare. I wanted to tell you guys that the video that's coming out tonight doesn't have anything to do with Nkisi Malongo Yaya. It's just me reading some points and some verses from the Holy Scriptures, the Christian Bible. I wanted to proofread or give where did I get the sprinkling of the blood from the live that we did with Tata Mfumbe that he did with us, and wanted to bring you the actual chapter and where I read it from, and also give you a couple of more little verses and some chapters for you guys to see, that when people speak about other people's traditions or belief systems, you have to be very careful because in their own, there could be things in there that to others might seem the way it seems when they look at us practicing our customs and traditions. I don't mean here with my reading to offend anyone of the Christian faith. I just want to put a couple of things out so others that want to know a little bit about certain things that are written there, they could see that in the scriptures there are things that you might not even have known that they existed or they were written in there. So like I said, I don't mean no disrespect. 21's belief system or anything. I'm just reading from a book and I'm reading it verbatim. I might add my words in it to give you a little understanding because it's the old English, the old King James version. But other than that, I'm still reading it. And it's just for you guys to see where I get the information from that I'm reading that it's just not coming out of the air. I'm actually reading it from the actual book. I hope you guys enjoy it. I know I'm going to get probably some slack for this, but this is how we learn about different faiths and different books and different traditions. Have yourself a great night. Salam alaikum, alaikum salam. I'm just coming in real quick tonight. Just wanted to put a couple of things, bring a little something to your attention. And it goes with a little bit with the live that we did with Tata Mfumbe and the brother Azaria, if I'm not mistaken, Azaria. I might be wrong. Excuse me, brother. Forgot the name if that's not your name. But I wanted to bring because we spoke about some things that are in the scriptures, what the Christians of all denominations, use, which is the Bible. Bible, Biblos means book, so it just means the book. Some people say the Holy Bible, the Holy Book. We know that there's different translations. There's different types of Bibles with chapters deleted, chapters added, different wordings. All depends of what branch of Christianity you attend or you believe. You use a certain type of Bible that goes in line with whatever you are being either indoctrinated or they teach you, or what do you actually believe. So we spoke about in that live about Moses, right? And I said that Moses, when he made a pact with God, he sprinkled blood on the altar, right? And sprinkled blood on the people to seal the deal. He sacrificed animals. He gave burnt offerings. So what I want to do is I want to read directly from the Bible to substantiate what I said from my mouth without having the book in front of me and not having the proof of what it actually says. So I just want to give you guys clarification and give you the actual wordings of what's going on here. And we're going to start in Exodus 24. We're going to start Exodus chapter 24, verse 1. Got to use the bifocals. And here this it says, "And he said unto Moses, Come up unto the Lord, thou and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel, and worship ye afar off. And Moses alone shall come near the Lord, but they shall not come neither shall the people go up with him. And Moses came and told the people all the words of the Lord and all the judgments, and all the people answered with one voice and said, all the words which the Lord has said will we do. Meaning, everything that the Lord God told Moses, how he wanted the things done, the laws and everything, the people agreed on it. So they said, and all the words which the Lord has said, we will do, said the rest of the people, the Israelites. And Moses wrote all the words of the Lord and rose up early in the morning and builded an altar. He built an altar under the hill and 12 pillars, according to the 12 tribes of Israel. And he sent young men of the children of Israel, which offered burnt offerings and sacrificed peace offerings of oxen unto the Lord. And Moses took half of the blood and put it on a basin, like a jar, and half of the blood he sprinkled on the altar. And he took the book of the covenant, and read in the audience of the people. And they say, all that the Lord has said we will do, and be obedient, like they'll abide by it. And Moses took the blood and sprinkled it on the people and said, behold, the blood of the covenant which the Lord hath made with you concerning all these words. So there you go. When Moses went to speak to God, okay, this is what the scripture says. God gave him all the rules and the laws that he wanted to do, that he wanted for the people of Israel to follow. And if you keep reading the book, it's gonna and one of these pages, I don't remember exactly where. It states that the people didn't want to hear God, so they told Moses, "You go speak to God. We can't. He's too powerful. We can't. It's unbearable for us." You understand? So Moses was the one relaying the message back and forth. But in order for them to seal the deal and to make a pact, they used blood, sacrificed blood, and they sprinkled blood on the altar. They sacrificed animals. They even gave burnt offerings of animals. And then Moses also sprinkled the book of the law, which means the 5 books of the law, right? Which is what Moses brought. And then he sprinkled blood on the people, sealing the pact. Okay? I just wanted to bring that clarification for you guys to understand that I wasn't just talking. I had read it a long time ago. Now, I want to go real quick to, let me see where we're going to go. We're going to go to Ezekiel. I got it right in here. Ezekiel 37. But this is another thing that I want you guys, if you haven't read on it, because you probably don't follow the book, which is fine. I used to read a lot of the Bible back in the days, and like as a Latino, we were raised, a lot of us, in the church, so the Bible is nothing new to us. We're gonna read Ezekiel 37, the valley of the dry bones. It says, "The hand of the Lord was upon me, and carried me out in the spirit of the Lord, and set me down in the midst of the valley, which was full of bones, and caused me to pass by them round about," caused him to pass around the bones. "And behold, there were very many in the open valley," a lot of bones. "And lo, they were very dry." No flesh, nothing on them. Bones are dry. "And he said unto me," this is what the Lord said, "and he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live? And I answered, O Lord God, thou knowest." You know, God. "Again he said unto me, Prophesy upon these bones, and say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the words of your Lord." So I'm just reading these short little chapters and these short little verses for you to see that even in the scriptures, it speaks about bones and prophesying to the bones. And and as you prophesy to the bones, actually the Lord is saying that he could bring those bones back to life, you know, in that sense. You know, so he's telling him, prophesy to those bones, you know. And let me see what and then let's see what he says, right? And then it says, again he said unto me, prophesy upon these bones. And I say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the words of the Lord. Thus said the Lord God unto these bones, behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and ye shall live. And I will lay sinews upon you, and will bring up flesh upon you, and cover you with skin, and put breath in you, and ye shall live, and ye shall know that I am the Lord, meaning the power of God. All right? That's just a little clarification of certain the things that I wanted to bring and for your understanding, okay? Just take the Christianity out of it. Think out of the box, okay? Now, let's go to... Okay, we don't want to... Let me see. You know what? Let's go to... Let's go this Isaiah. Let's go to... Let's go real quick. Don't mind me. It's been a while. I don't... Let's go to the book of Job. All right? The book of Job 1:1. And this is something that I wanted to bring to the attention because remember when the Christianity came putting fear in people's hearts and started teaching people about a demonic force, a devil, you know, and the Jews did not believe in Satan the way people of the New Testament writers and readers understand it. You know, they didn't believe in Satan like that. This is almost like something new, in other words. All right. So we're gonna read Job 1:1, right? Let's start 1:1, right? And this is the story of Job, right? There was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job, and that man was perfect, upright, and one that feared God and eschewed evil. He didn't like evil. And there were born unto him 7 sons and 3 daughters. His substance also was 70,000 sheep and 3,000 camels and 500 yoke of oxen and 500 she-asses and a very great household. So that this man was the greatest of all the men of the east, meaning this man had wealth. He was living great, prosperous. And his sons went and feasted in their houses, every one his day, and sent and called for their 3 sisters to eat and to drink with them. And it was so when the days of their feasting were gone about, that Job sent and sacrificed them, and rose up early in the morning and offered burnt offerings according to the number of them all. Meaning that Job woke up, their father woke up, and sacrificed animals for his sons and his daughters, you know, just in case his sons and his daughters had committed a sin or something, you know, God wouldn't, in other words, hurt them or take away their substance, or, you know, in that case. So he says, and it may be, and this is what he says, it may be that my sons have sinned and cursed God in their hearts. Thus did Job continually. So Job continually would always do this without his sons knowing. Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord. Okay, the sons of God here speaking about are the angels, right? Meaning that the power, being God, the omnipotent, the angels have to come to him and bring him information as far as what you've been doing. You know, the task that God has given them to do, they have to abide by it and do it. So this day, God caused them to hear the information. What are you doing? Like, what's going on? So this is what it says here. Now, there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, which is God. And then it says here, and Satan came also among them. So now what you got to take into consideration is for the Christian belief, right? God is in heaven. The angels are in heaven. It states that Satan came also. So where's Satan? Must have been in heaven, right? Because where else is going to be? So Satan went up also to represent this. So telling you also that Satan is under his command, God's command. Satan can't do nothing without God commanding him to do the things. It's the yin and the yang, the good and the bad. That's all this is. Now watch. I'm going to read it from here. Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them. And the Lord said unto Satan, Whence comest thou? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. Meaning Satan is telling him, I'm all over the place, up and down the earth, tempting, doing the job that you gave me to do. That's what I'm doing. All right. Now, and the Lord said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job, who we read earlier about, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and an upright man, one that feareth God and eschews evil? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, Doth Job fear God or for naught? Meaning, does Job fear you, God, because he fears you? Or is it because, you are blessing him, in other words, with things? So, he gives you these offerings and these things back because he doesn't want to lose his blessings. I'm just adding words just for you to understand what it's trying to say, but I'm going to read it. Then Satan answered the Lord and said, Doth Job fear God for naught? Hath not thou made an hedge about him and about his house? Meaning, have you not protected, made a hedge, put a protection, a barrier around his house? That nothing evil, nothing that could harm them, could do something to them. Has not thou made a hedge about him, Job also, and about his house, and about all that he hath on every side? Thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land. But then this is where it gets deep at, because he says, But put forth thy hand now, and touch all that he hath, and he will curse thee to thy face. So now, supposedly Satan is telling him, since you protected him, nobody could do no harm to him. You protected, you put a hedge around his house too. Nobody could do anything to his land, his properties, his animals, his children, nothing. So, but I tell you, if you take that hedge around that protection, right, then and I touch him, and you kind of give me the permission to do, to hurt Job or something, Job is going to curse you, God. All right. So this is where we go. Then we're going to continue on and say, right, because he says, Put forth thy hand now and touch all that he hath, and he will curse thee to thy face. And the Lord said unto Satan, Behold, all that he hath is in thy power. Meaning that God gave the supposedly devil the permission and the ability to touch what Job has. His property, his land, his children, his house, his wife, animals, everything. But not Job. He couldn't kill Job or touch Job. Now listen to this. And the Lord said unto Satan, Behold, all that he has is in thy power. Only upon himself put not forth thy hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord. And there was a day when his sons and his daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house. And there came a messenger unto Job and said, The oxen were plundering, and the asses feeding besides them. And the Sabians fell upon them and took them away. See, here, I don't want to keep reading, but this is now what it's stating is now supposedly that negative aspect of not having, let's say, the food, the home, the children healthy, the grain growing, the animals, eating grass, and you can eat meat off of them, make clothes of them. Now I'm going to start the negative side is now I'm going to start taking this away from him to see how Job is going to act. You understand? If he didn't have these things. So what I'm trying to say here is that this clearly indications, and this speaks about Satan and the fallen angels and a whole bunch of things. But what you have to do is you have to read with an open mind and understand is that in everything in life and in this world, there's a up, a down, a back and forward. You understand that there is a good, a bad. You know, you have. You know, we see things sometimes just for what it is. You know, we don't put really no mind to it. So I wanted just to give you a couple of quick little scriptures there just to show you something. Now I want to show you something else. That's about Job, right? So let's go real quick back to is that Isaiah 45? Let me see here. Okay. This is just stuff that I wanted to do to clear up some of the things that you know we were speaking about in the live that really doesn't have anything to do with Paulo. But if you put your mind and you would think, you would see, just like the sprinkling of the blood with the pact that God made with Moses, you know, if you was to do that these days and people would see you sprinkling blood on people, what would they say you're doing? They would say you're doing witchcraft or something barbaric. But why wasn't it said that back when Moses was doing, if he was doing it? I'm just going by what the book says. Now, what it says here, 7. Okay, there's just real quick things I want to read from you. This is what God says in Isaiah 45, verse 7, in the Bible, the King James Version. Isaiah 45, verse 7. This is God speaking. I form the light, I create darkness, I make peace, and I create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. Did you hear correctly what God said? I form light and create darkness. I make peace and I create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. Psalms 45, chapter 7. God is clearly telling you that he's the one that's in charge of anything that evil happens is under his control. It's not under so-called Satan's control. That he might have somebody that does that job for him, just like the other angels do different work for him. That's a Christian belief. You understand? But let's go to, let me see. I want to go to something where you guys are going to see a little witchcraft in here. Just to show maybe some of the brothers and sisters that have never read the Bible or have never, you know, maybe weren't brought up on it, or if they were, they really didn't really get into, you know, learn, you know, reading it. They just went to church with the elders and stuff like that. All right, let's go. Okay, we're going to go to, because I had to write them down here. We're going to go to 1 Samuel chapter 28. Okay, 1 Samuel chapter 28. And I'm going to read. This is King David. When King David was in power. Remember, the Israelites didn't have a king. Because if you understand, who was their king? God. There was nobody more powerful in the world than God. So God was their king. But no, they wanted to be, according to what is written, they wanted to be like the other nations were. The other nations had kings over them and ruling over them. So God said, okay, all right, y'all want a king? Y'all don't want me? Okay, I got you. I'm going to put a king for you. And he put Saul, King Saul, as king. All right. But at this point, King Saul's reign, God took it away from him, because Saul also did stuff incorrect in the scriptures that was against God. God sent him on a battle, and God told from I think it was the prophet Samuel, if I'm not mistaken, he was delivering the message, and he told Saul, God says that you have to kill everybody, men, women, children, and animals. God said that here in this book. Men, women, children, and animals. Do not leave nothing. Slaughter everything. So you will have to ask yourself, what did the women have to do with it? What does the children have to do with it? And what does the animals have to do with it? All right, you're in battle with the men, so of course you're going to fight against men. But women and children and animals, like really, what was that? That's for you guys to think about that watching the video. I'm just putting this stuff out here, just to give you a little bit of insight here. Now, chapter 28, it speaks about, this is already when Saul's at the end of his reign. It says, and it came to pass in those days that the Philistines gathered their armies together for warfare to fight with Israel. And Achish said unto David, know thou assuredly that thou shalt go out with me to battle, thou and thy men. And David said to Achish, surely thou shalt know what thy servant can do. And Achish said to David, therefore will I make thee keeper of mine head forever. All right. Let me go to, because I didn't look at, was it 28? Was it 28? 28. Let me see. 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 Give me 1 second. I'm trying to make sure that I'm at the right spot here. Gonna have to, what's that? 1 Samuel 28. 1 Samuel 28. 1 Samuel 28. 1 Samuel. Okay, now we go. Okay, there we go. I got to keep going. And now Samuel was there, which Samuel was the prophet of God that was given to Saul, was sent to Saul, and he was the prophet. He was telling Saul what to do because God was telling Samuel, and Samuel was telling Saul what to do. Now Samuel was dead, and all Israel had lamented him and buried him in Ramah, even in his own city. And Saul had put away those that had familiar spirits, and Saul had put away those that had familiar spirits and wizards out of the land. Meaning, Saul would, if he knew that you was a wizard or you was a witch or you did anything that didn't have anything to do with the Israelite custom, to them was witchcraft. So he'll put you to death. So nobody was around that did that, supposedly, right? Or they were afraid, or they will hide, and nobody, they wouldn't know. They will hide their practices. But now Saul passes away. Samuel passes away. Saul is lost his reign. So now watch what he's looking for. And the Philistines gathered themselves together and came and pitched in Shenu. And Saul gathered all Israelites together, and they pitched in Gilboa. And when Saul saw the host of the Philistines, he was afraid, and his heart greatly trembled. And when Saul inquired of the Lord answered him not. You see, when Saul tried to speak to God, God didn't answer him. So the Lord answered him not, neither by dream, nor by Urim, nor by prophets. Then said Saul unto his servants, seek me a woman that hath a familiar spirit, that I may go to her and acquire of her. And his servant said to him, behold, there is a woman that hath a familiar spirit at Endor. And Saul disguised himself and put on other raiments, and he went, and 2 men with him, and they came to the woman by night. And he said, I pray thee, divine unto me by the familiar spirit, and bring me him up, whom I shall name unto thee. Now he goes to this woman, camouflage, different clothing, because he's trying to, not let her know that he's the king, because he wants this lady which is a spiritist, a witch, to bring the prophet Saul, to mount Saul, bring Saul back, for he could be able to speak to this prophet that already died. They was giving him the prophecies. Watch this. And the woman said unto him, Behold, thou knowest what Saul hath done, how he hath cut off those that have familiar spirits and the wizards out of the land. Wherefore then layest thou a snare for my life, to cause me to die. You see, she's like, are you trying to trick me? If I could lose my life? Now, this is what he says. And Saul sware to her by the Lord, saying, As the Lord liveth, there shall no punishment happen to thee for this thing. Then said the woman, Whom shall I bring up unto thee? Who should I call upon? What spirit? And he said, Bring me up Samuel. Call upon Samuel, the prophet, that is already dead. And when the woman saw Samuel, when the woman saw Samuel, she cried with a loud voice. And the woman spake to Saul, saying, Why hast thou deceived me? For thou art Saul. The woman noticed that he was the king, so she got afraid. And the king said unto her, Be not afraid, for what sowest thou? And the woman said unto Saul, I saw gods ascending out of the earth. And he said unto her, What form is he of? And she said, An old man cometh up, and he is covered with a mantle. And Saul perceived that it was Samuel. And he stopped with his face to the ground and bowed himself down. When the lady told him that when she started calling upon Saul, the spirit that was already dead, the prophet, she saw and she explained to the king what she saw. And when she told him that what she saw, and he noticed that it was the truth, because he knew the prophet Samuel. So he knew how he was buried, what he had on, and everything. So he prostrated his face to the ground, giving reverence. You understand? So he bowed himself. And Samuel's talking. Now Samuel, the dead person, the dead prophet, that the spiritist brought to life, or brought the spirit to speak, now he's going to speak to the king Saul in the Bible. And Samuel said to Saul, Why hast thou disquieted me to bring me up? And Saul answered, I am sore distressed, for the Philistines make war against me, and God is departed from me, and answereth me no more, neither by prophets nor by dreams. Therefore I have called thee, that thou mayest make known unto me what shall I do. Then said the prophet Samuel that was dead, and it's speaking, the spirit, Wherefore then then says Samuel, Wherefore then thou ask of me, seeing the Lord is departed from thee, and is become thine enemy. So now Samuel tells him, Why are you waking me up from my sleep? I'm dead. Why are you bothering me when the Lord God has departed from you? You understand? He's not with you no more. That power that was protecting you and helping you, letting you win battles and everything, he's not with you no more. So don't bother me. But it's just to show you that even in the Bible, there's a witch. And this is just not one. This is just a profound one. You understand? Now, do you guys want to listen to a story in Numbers 22? And I'm going to cut it short and end the video, because this is not to give a Christian class here, but I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of what will you find, or what could you find in the scriptures, because we have a lot of people that like to condemn and speak against the practices that we practice and follow, but they themselves don't even know that they have similar or the same in their own scriptures. And I'm going to end with that. I have some more, but I'm just going to end with this last one here. Hold on. Numbers 22. I used to have stuff all right, here we go. Numbers 22. I'm going to try to make it short. Try to make it 22. Okay, but I want to get to the point like that. You guys don't go to sleep on me. 22:20. The video is already too long. Okay, let's go right here. I'm going to show you here something if you have never read about it. It says here, and Balaam rose up in the morning and saddled his ass and went with the princes of Moab. And God's anger was kindled because he went. And the angel of the Lord stood in the way for an adversary against him. Now he was riding upon his ass, and his two servants were with him. And the ass, meaning the donkey, saw the angel of the Lord standing in the way, and his sword drawn in his hand. And the ass turned aside out of the way and went into the field. And Balaam smote the ass to turn her into the way. Meaning that the ass, the donkey, saw the angel or a spiritual being. The animal saw a spiritual being, and Balaam that was riding the ass wanted to go that way, but the ass turned around. Like, I'm not going through that spiritual being. I see a sword. The ass is seeing this spiritual being with a sword and everything, but the one who's riding it can't see it. So he starts beating the ass, beating the donkey. That's why it says Balaam smote the ass to turn her into the way, to put her back into the direction he wanted it. But the angel of the Lord stood in the path of the vineyard, a wall being on this side and a wall on the other side. And when the ass saw the angel of the Lord, she thrust herself onto the wall and crushed Balaam's foot against the wall. And he smote her again. The ass, seeing the angel, she, reneged and charged against the wall, and it crushed Balaam's foot, the rider. And he started beating the donkey up again, hurting it. So he smote her again. And the angel of the Lord went further and stood in a narrow place where was no way to turn either to the right hand or to the left. And when the ass saw the angel of the Lord, she fell down under Balaam, and Balaam's anger was kindled, and he smote the ass with a staff. Meaning that now the donkey can't go left or right, so she dropped down and it crushed his legs. So he again starts hitting her with the stick. And the Lord opened the mouth of the ass. Now this states here that God opened the mouth of the donkey, made the donkey speak. Okay? And the Lord opened the mouth of the ass, and she said unto Balaam, what have I done unto thee, that thou hast smitten me these 3 times? Now the ass, the donkey, is talking to the rider, telling the rider, what I have done to you, that you have hit me already 3 times. This is in the scripture, a donkey speaking to a human being. I gave you the chapters. I'm not going to proceed. Video is long. Just if you take the time and you are interested to look upon these things, you will find a lot of things in here that doesn't make no sense. Some do make a little sense. They got good things in here that you could use and apply to your life. But there are a lot of things in here that just not too great. But no disrespect to nobody's faith or religion. But, I just wanted to share that. I have more here, but the video is too long and I get excited. Just wanted to put a little short video out there. Salam alaikum, alaikum salam, que sami la kutare. Ya tu sabes. En Kisimalongo.